guys, it's Jahlon, and I did go over the creative director letter yesterday while I was live, and I wanted to try to pull down that footage. Unfortunately, I wasn't in an Ashes of Creation frame of mind when I got the letter. I was actually PvPing in Stream Raiders. So let's go ahead and take a look at the letter itself. Now, obviously, this is going to be chopped up a little weird due to screen sizes. If you haven't had a chance to look at the actual email, I recommend you do that. The way they framed the email, as you can see, looks brilliant. I wish that the view this in your browser worked. Otherwise, I would have gone there. Since that's not working, I'm going to come here to the website. And a lot of people misunderstand what the creative director's letter is for. The creative director's letter isn't for making really big reveals. It's for Intrepid to reach out to the almost 3 million registered accounts, because some people watch the live streams. 67,000 people are in the Discord, 40,000 are on the Reddit, 100,000 are on the YouTube, about 5,000 watch their monthly live stream live on Twitch. That doesn't get us anywhere near 3 million. The creative director's letter is designed to reach everybody. So Steven does his usual friendly thing, and I mean, I'm going to be honest. I do appreciate the fact that he opens with, I hope each and every one of you are staying safe and healthy as we enter into spring. He doesn't have to be pleasant. He doesn't have to be cordial. If you look at some other video game developers, they're not. Now, you do see that they talk about where they pushed the Alpha 1 back 2 months, and that made some people upset. I think more people were upset because of the lack of a real statement when they talked about how they were going to push back Alpha 2. They recovered from that in the live stream in March. They talked about how they had found some issues and they fixed those issues and they've tested those issues. So that was a much better justification, rationale, whatever word you want to use for why they delayed it. So I think Intrepid is definitely gaining traction on saying not what people want to hear, but making sure that when they have to give bad news, they're including the whys. As we go down here a little bit, I mean, this is a bit of a hype piece. Remember, this is a marketing piece. Marketing is designed to build recognition for your product, your company, whatever you're working on. I do like the fact that Steven has gone back to, regardless, I feel it is important to provide transparency so the community has the ability to see our progress in our development and be a part of that progress. I'm currently testing another game called Fractured, and they're following sort of the same method, the same methodology, making it available, understanding they're going to have some bumps, understanding there's going to be some things that are broken or not finished or not fully implemented. So it's good that Western developers are starting to include the testers, the community, the overall MMORPG genre in the process, because it's better to get feedback early than almost be buttoned up, almost be done, and then suddenly realizing, wait, nobody likes our game. And I'm kind of looking at you, WildStar, and, well, you're out of business. And I'm kind of looking at you, New World. You didn't really listen, and now you're scrambling to put together a game people are going to enjoy. I like how they say, as you catch footage and streams of the Alpha 1, keep in mind that this is still a ways to go before Ashes is ready. A lot of people drive this into your guildmates' heads, your friends' heads, your colleagues' heads. This is a Western Alpha 1. This is a developmental alpha. This is not a marketing alpha. This is not a finished game coming from Asia where they're doing localization, translation, and tweaking the cash shop. There is going to be broken stuff. That is the purpose of this alpha, to find the broken stuff and either identify it so they can eliminate it, or identify it and they'll say, yes, we know that system is incomplete, but that system needs to be present for you to test all the other systems. I will say, I do like the fact that they tell people to join the forums, all their other socials, their Discord and their Reddit. More feedback is always better. On the studio update, I I can tell you right now, Steven, when he says he's incredibly happy to announce that the team will be returning to the brand new studio, Steven is incredibly happy about getting the people in the studio. Think about how much extra stress is on Steven every single day because he hasn't finalized that move. That move has been in progress for years. I've told the move debacle stories, and if you join me on my stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, if you haven't heard the move debacle stories, I can tell those. But once he can get his team back in, that's a huge thing off his shoulders. He does talk about the remote work has its benefits. It clearly does. But being a collaborative effort, everybody being in one place at one time is huge. Huge for a project like this. I like the fact that from art to design to engineering and more, our development team will need to grow by roughly 50% within this year to a target headcount of about 150 full-time and on-site. If anybody wasn't around in April 2019, I talked to Steven about this all the way back on tax day. There's a link to that interview below. It's a bad quality interview. I apologize for that. But he talked about raising the staff size from 100 to 150. The only thing I want to knock Intrepid here right now, and I hate to do it, telling people how many people on staff. I understand they don't want to say who's on staff, but telling people when they say we need to grow by roughly 50%, well, we knew there were about 95 plus or minus 8 in February. But then they've talked about onboarding some other people that we're not keeping track of. So I think the only knock on the studio update piece I would want to say is we would need to grow by roughly 50% because we have this many people on staff now. I think that would have really driven home some like confidence in people. But I'll tell you, my best guess is that they have more than 103 staff, full-time staff on time now. Development update. During much of the first quarter of 2021, we have done considerable amount of testing, both internally and with our resilient Alpha 1 preview testers. We will be ramping up testing once again starting on April 19th with our NDA testers in anticipation of the non-NDA testing starting in May and ultimately the Alpha 1 tests beginning on June 1st. I can't talk about anything going on with the testing. I do have an NDA in place, but Steven said it. So testing resumes on April 19th. Big one here. For those of you that didn't catch it the last time, they have updated from Unreal Engine 4.25 to 4.26. I know some of you keep asking me during my show, why don't they just upgrade to Unreal Engine 5? That's a completely different topic for a different day, a different place. Again, you can join me on my stream for that. Unreal Engine 5 doesn't get Intrepid anything today. Unreal Engine 5 may get Intrepid benefits in the future, but today, right now, for their continued development, moving to Unreal Engine 5 right now, number one, may not even be a possibility. Number two, doesn't get them enough to suffer the downtime they would get. In some of your more recent testing, which was showcased in the February monthly update, we successfully conducted stress testing that focused on having hundreds of players and thousands of NPCs within close proximity of another, in which we maintained a relatively decent server-side performance. If you didn't check out the video where they summoned the 100 bears, the 1,000 bears, Steven summoned 1,000 bears. They'd previously summoned 5,000 bears. So, all good signs. Really big one here. They're kind of addressing a skeleton in the closet. They're kind of talking about apocalypse, and I'm glad they did this here. If you guys didn't see the interview I did with Steven in October, he kind of laid the groundwork for this. Last year, I spoke of attempting to incorporate sieges into the Alpha 1 experience. This has obviously been a goal of mine because it provides considerable data and consistent event within the world that players can participate in to help stress test the development. While I am happy to say it is appearing more and more likely by the day. Initial implementation of the Apocalypse Siege code has been migrated into the Alpha 1 client, and we should begin internal testing next month. I will caveat this expectation with the fact that we are cutting it a bit close from an internal QA standpoint, but I have some confidence that the system will be online and capable of inclusion for the Alpha 1 tests in the month of June. I think this is the greatest piece of writing Steven has done ever. As his time as the creative director. He said what I would like to do he puts a caveat on it, and he explains the caveat is that they are cutting it a bit close from an internal QA standpoint. This has now got to be Steven's bar, a minimum bar. Tell us what you want. Tell us why it might not happen. Tell us why it might not happen. And then give us the warm fuzzy at the end. I also appreciate the fact he said the Siege component will obviously not be representative of what the Siege system will be at launch or even Alpha 2. Great things. Final thoughts, and I know what you all have been waiting for. Lastly, I know for the past several months we have received a considerable number of requests with regards to opening Alpha 1 sales again. I am happy to announce that we will be reintroducing Alpha 1 options sometime in May. More information on this will be posted to our website around the end of April, and we will announce this across our socials, so make sure to keep an eye on that. However, participating in the Alpha 1 test should not be regarded as playing a game. You are helping to test our work in progress. You will be expected to provide feedback to help us iterate on systems and design. We love and appreciate our testers and the support they provide, and each and every one of our alpha testers will have a special place in our history. I love the fact that they said this isn't playing a game. This is testing a game, and there are some expectations on testers that you're going to be expected to actually do the work. And with that said, guys, I am going to go ahead. I'm going to put this into post-production. Not really the same sort of style of letter that I've done, letter review I've done in the past. The letter was just so good on its own merit. I really think that you should go check it out. Unfortunately, if it's not in your email box, get it on the website. I'll put all the links in the description below. But if you did get the email, again, the way they laid the email out is just so beautiful. I think that people should go and check that out because I have to hit them. They were late, but given the presentation, given the way they presented the entire letter, I'm not going to beat them up on them being late for it. I think that the presentation certainly justifies the day and a half that we waited. Until then, guys, if you have questions about Ashes of Creation, I stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Link in the description below. Check me out then.
I say, Sprocket, we've reached the end of another video. Time to thank the sponsors. Yes, that will do, that will do. Shall we pop off for a spot of tea?